Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code. This is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Friday the 29th of October 2021. Time is just gone 04:30 in the morning GMT. Asian session coming to close, European session firing up, our lunchtime North American session. Right, yesterday then, Thursday the 28th, we had a positive opposed driver in the euro at plus 160. Front and back door flows mainly coming out the dollar at minus 151, out the yen at minus 50, and the pound was the positive rock at plus 41. Activity plus or minus 201. Intra-week then, this is the most relevant. It's from Monday the 25th, open to about 15 minutes ago. We got a negative opposed driver in the yen at minus 87. Front and back door flows mainly going into the pound at plus 86, into the euro at plus 68. And the dollar is the negative rock at minus 67. Activity plus or minus 154. So yesterday then we had this surge in the euro off the back of the rates decision and the subsequent meeting at the end. So we had a positive euro driving, basically sucking stuff out, flows out of the dollar, and then over the week we've had the yen soft at minus 87 as the opposed negative driver, and the pound being the opposite, sucking the bulk of the well, the pound was driving just, but it's very close. And intraday then, which is the Asian session to about 15 minutes ago, we got a negative opposed driver in the euro, minus 22. Front and back door flows mainly going into the yen at plus 14, into the dollar at plus 9, and the pound is the negative rock at minus 1. So you've got a reversal in yesterday's euro strength in the Asian session, and you've got the main feature is yen strength, which has been the yen has been weak for a long time now. So you've got euro reversal and yen strength, and a bit of dollar strength, and neutral on the pound at minus 1. Right, we'll stop it there and write up the flows. Right, we've written up the flows then. So the euro is weak except against the CAD, the AUD and the NZD, the commodity currencies. Yen is strong except against the dollar, the pound and the Swiss. The pound is strong except against the Swiss. The Swiss is strong across the board. The CAD is weak except against the AUD and the NZD. And the AUD is weak except against the NZD. The NZD is weak across the board, and the dollar is strong except against the Swiss and the pound. Right, what's going to knock it about, or has knocked it about? Well, we've had AUD retail sales, which came in positive, and yet you can see that the commodity currencies are under the cosh, particularly the AUD. The AUD is only next weakest after the NZD. So and today then we've got German GDP and Euro CPI and GDP data, and bear in mind that information will have been known before for the ECB, and so you can factor in relatively probably good data there, because you know the market's reacted already to the ECB rates decision and their subsequent minutes. So anyway, next week we've got an important week next week. We've got basically we've got a lot of inflation data coming out Sunday night, China, Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday we've got the Royal Reserve Bank of Australia rates decision. Wednesday we've got the ADP. As soon as you get ADP, you know it's NFP week, non-farm payroll week. And you've also got Wednesday. You've got Fed rates decision. So you've got the American rates decision on Wednesday. You've got the Bank of England rates decision on Thursday, and you've got NFP on Friday. So we've got 2 rates decisions and an NFP. So it's a very strong data week next week, which will be interesting to see how today lines up for next week. Anyway, we'll stop it there and write up the asset classes. Right, we've written up the asset classes then. So US dollar index, basically you had this big pump up a while ago. It's come back. It's now half marks. It's 0.5. So that it's softer off the back of this euro strength. Gold then is at half marks as well. So that's interesting. Oil had this big break. It's now come off about 14% from the modelled high. It's still up there, but it's come back about 14%. Wall Street, S&P and tech. Well, Wall Street and S&P did the break above the resistance. They've come back, but they're still holding above the break, so above the resistance. And the tech finally did the break and caught up, and it's gone back to the resistance. So you've still got this slight lag in the tech, although it has caught up considerably. But nevertheless, you've still got this slight lag in the tech. US 10-year in the bond. This is the price of the bonds. You had this pump down, rising yields. Then we've had this recovery in prices. So we've had fall off in yields. US 10-year 0.22, 22% above the floor. And the bund pretty similar, 0.23, 23% above the floor. So they've closed up again, which would arguably suggest that you're not going to get too much more euro strength against the dollar in the short term. Copper then had this big break, and it's now come back to pretty much the resistance. It's half marks as well, 0.5. Notice the pattern here. The asset classes are all pretty much trending towards this halfway, not sure whether to go up or down point. And then US steel inevitably is come up by a little bit and then came down, and it's 0.31 from the floor, so it's 31% above the floor, roughly a third. So we'll get rid of that and just do the final analysis. So as I say, we've got a very, very busy week next week on the data wise. We've got 2 rates decisions. We've got the Fed rate decision and the pound, and then we've got all the other stuff. We've got a lot of inflation data, we've got ADP, employment, and the NFP. So we've got a bucket full basically, and so let's have a look what's been going on then. So we've got the dollar, the euro, the yen, and the pound in the majors. We've got the CAD, the AUD, and the NZD, and we've got the Swiss at the back here. Right, so next week we've had a rates decision there. So we've had the rates decision there. We've had the yen rates decision, and we had the CAD rates decision earlier. And now we've got the dollar rates decision in the tube, and the pound rates decision. Right. We've had positive, retail sales on the AUD, and if you look at the flows for the Asian session, we've got sort of risk off flows. We've got the yen positively driving, with the euro coming off again, which was pumped yesterday after the rates decision. So we've got commodity currencies a week. So we've got negatives in the commodity currencies, despite the positive retail sales. The AUD is just towing the line and dropping with the risk off flows. The yen is, as we say, the yen is starting to think about coming up. So we've got this hockey stick effect off the back of equities, which are basically stalling at the moment, so neutral to negative on the equities at the moment. So anyway, that's all just contextual information. The data we've got out today is GDP for Germany and Euro CPI GDP. So we've got European data again, but as I say, this is likely to have all been factored in to yesterday's pump. So I think looking at it, we're likely to see sort of a revival in the dollar probably as we head into the weekend. So you're likely to see some dollar strength. So that's on the positive side of the equation. I'd like to see some dollar strength, and probably some yen strength, which is basically risk off. And then you've got you're likely to see pound and euro probably in that order dropping. So you've got negatives there, and you're likely to see commodity currencies coming off, and the Swiss. The Swiss is strong across the board. So you've got good strength in the Swiss, strength in the yen, and therefore you're looking at this sort of risk-off scenario, and things are parked. So if you're going to trade today as you run into the weekend, look out for dollar strength, yen strength off the back of the equity transmission, and the people who are going to be losing out, the complexes will be the pound and the euro, in our view. So that's where we are, and the Swiss is likely to be positive as well. So I hope that was useful. See you tomorrow for the data cycle review and the weekly review. If not, see you Monday for the next daily briefing. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.